Welcome everyone to this installment of my Thinking Classrooms video series from Keep Indiana Learning. I'm Jeff Harker and with me today is Lalo Rolon, a high school math teacher at Concord High School in Elkhart, Indiana. Thank you so much for being here, Lalo, with us and letting us into your classroom and sharing your experiences with us.
I appreciate you coming in, and it was fun to have you here and kind of show off what we're doing in the classroom. So appreciate it.
The kids did a great job today. This video is focused on how teachers use hints and extensions to keep students in a state of flow while they're working at their vertical surfaces. Peter will tell you himself that this is one of the more challenging strategies in his book, but you did a great job with it, Lalo, and that's of course why we're here. But before we get to the hints, I want to show teachers just a couple of other clips and then we'll chat for a second.
Oh, I just erased it.
Okay, put that X back in there where you had. Put X. You need it. Is that this? It's on the Y.
And it crosses.
Yeah, so make sure it shows the likelihood of the Y and kind of like hits somewhere. Can I see group 5? Can I see what you guys got for number 1?
Okay, so number 1 is 80.
It starts there.
Height?
You can lighten that up.
85. Number 1 is 85.
The vertex is, yeah, the height.
That?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 1 is 10.
Okay. How many questions are there?
What does this mean?
Is it number 2 85?
Yeah.
Lalo, you seem effortless in your movements around the room, just kind of floating from group to group to group. You never stay too long, and you use my favorite strategy that I always talk about of just walk away.
Yep.
You kind of come in, say something, and then leave, which I love. And is it as effortless as it looks? And how did you develop that sense of when do I come in, how long do I stay, what do I ask them, and then when do I get out of there?
I think it was really, a lot of it was starting with, as I've gotten to know the kids better, I know as I see how the groupings develop, I kind of know where I'm going to head, where I'm going to need to spend more time. I think the thing I'm always thinking about when I'm getting around to different groups is just making sure they have enough information to move on without stealing their thinking. So that's the one thing I knew as a teacher before BTC, that I felt and realized I stole their ability to think, and I just showed. So I'm always trying to strike that balance of how much do they need without me, and then I can just move along.
We do that a lot as teachers, yes, because we care, right?
Yes.
We care, and we don't want them to struggle, and we want them to get to the right answer, and so we end up giving a lot away. Yeah, I get that. Let's look at our next video, and we'll talk about the hints that you use to help students stay on track.
Click on the point where it goes on the white intersection.
Because it's hard to see where the y intersection is. Grab your x-axis, and if you spread it apart, if you just grab the x-axis and do that, now you can see just a little bit more. It's easier to see the y intersection. What does this mean?
Is it number 2 85?
Yeah. What does that mean?
That's the highest point. All I know is number 3 is.
But what does that number mean? What does 2.343 mean? 2.343 what?
All I know is 3 is 0. Oh wait, never mind, erase that. Oh wait,
That's how many seconds it takes.
Say it again.
That's how many seconds it takes.
So that's how many seconds it takes. What does this mean? Charlie.
The height.
Okay, so remember, so then when it's talking about describe its meaning, that's what you're describing. Like, we don't be generic, like it's the highest point. Be specific about what the numbers mean in that context. Okay?
That correct? X is what?
How many seconds it takes to get to the which is
Look at the numbers right there. Now revisit the answers.
what?
Now you have the right thing.
It's true.
This is number 2. This is for number 2. Okay, it looks concave up. This is like a ball going in the air, right?
It should make it
Negative
negative.
16.
Oh.
Should be concave down. And then you'll have to revisit number 2.
Number 2? I don't know number 2.
What is verb? Is this
That's just the point at the very top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So what is it?
That's the answer?
What is it?
I don't know. I don't know how to find it. This thing is so confusing. It hurts my eyes. That. Is that the answer?
Rounded.
Is that the answer?
Is that the vertex?
Yes.
Okay, so write it down.
2.34. Oh, and this is in the little parentheses. And there's a comma after the 4.
What's the key to a good hint that helps students move forward and get unstuck?
Typically, if I'm coming up to a group, I'm going to start asking questions first. So I want to try to gauge what do they really know. That way, then I can just clear up any misconceptions. So I feel like my role in that hint is not necessarily to tell them what to do, but to clean up any misconceptions that they actually do have about the information.
Yeah, I love that. And I noticed that during your lesson, your hints were not always about the problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were about the technology.
Yes.
Because today you had them working on, I think it was the Desmos graphing.
Yep.
So do you use technology a lot? Because that's a question I get a lot from teachers is, how do I use technology if they're standing at the boards? So is that something you do a lot, and how do you find that it fits in with the BTC system?
This particular lesson, we're really trying to get deep into some more uses of Desmos graphing, so it's not always fun. I always hear the complaint, and you probably see some of the groups that they don't want to hold their iPad there, so I'd love to find better ways to have the device close to the board so they don't have to hold on to them, but yeah, it was just one of those. It's one of those, they understand when it's time to use it, and they just kind of have to hold on to it.
And I loved that you made a point of only having one device per group.
Yep.
And I noticed in one group you even said, are you sharing the device? Are you passing it around so that different people are using the computer? Yeah,
I wanted to make sure, especially when it comes to using Desmos graphing, that everyone had their hands on it. We're specifically working with parabolas, and if you're typing in the equation, they need to know how to physically move the graph so that they can see all the key features. And that was a big thing I tried to make sure I hit every group and make sure they understood a quick way to see it all. So, yeah.
Let's move to the other side of our coin, extensions, and see what you've got for us.
Equation. Make your own. Okay, you guys can work together. The axis of symmetry has to be x equals 2. Make your own quadratic. I don't care if it's concave up or concave down, but try to make one that has an axis of symmetry that's x equals 2.
I got this.
This number 4. You guys all understand how to make this thing. Put it on 4. It's got to work on the rounding part. That's not, you're doing fine.
Oh, hold on. I hold it. Oh, 0.
That parabola. Got yours done?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many dozens do they want to make so that they don't pay much?
10.
How do you know that?
Because
The least out of all of them?
yeah.
Is it the least overall? Check your graph.
Yeah.
Why didn't we speak?
How do you know?
Well,
mean, it's the least one on our table, but is that for sure the lowest daily cost? Get it back up there and talk to each other about it. Is it really the lowest cost?
I think extensions seem to be a bit more tricky than hints because they're in addition to the lesson. You're not walking up and seeing what they have on the board in front of you and responding to it. So do you find that to be the case? And how much planning do you do to anticipate what their needs are going to be beyond the lesson?
I'm always, every time we're at the boards, I've always tried to have something prepared as an extension. So in that particular lesson, I had thought out, okay, so if they're moving quickly through this, or the curricular tasks we did at the beginning, if they figured it out pretty quickly, like how was I going to be able to keep them moving forward? So I had pre-planned in my head what we could do to kind of extend that knowledge that other groups might not get into, but we knew that one piece we wanted everyone to get, and then I had pre-planned what I was going to keep feeding them until we were done with that piece of the lesson.
Yeah, and I noticed also that you didn't try to make it to every group with those.
No.
Because I've seen teachers that if they give one group an extension or a hint, whichever one, they want to try to get to every group with that. And it's maddening sometimes to try to get to everybody. And everybody doesn't need it.
Yeah. And
So,
I usually keep myself on a timer, so that's how
I did notice you looking
I
at
will
your
time,
watch
I
a
will
lot.
time myself,
Yeah.
and then that kind of gave me the pacing of, all right, we need to move on from this part and go on to the next piece just because of time, and I tried to give enough extensions during those moments.
Time is always an issue.
Yep.
Man. Yeah. And I noticed, I'll insert this here, I noticed that you spent the entire class period at the boards, but
Yes.
you have a pretty short class period.
Yeah, we have it's 50-minute class periods.
Okay, 50 minutes, and I've even been in classrooms where it's shorter.
Yeah.
So you were planning on doing your check your understanding problems tomorrow.
Yep.
So the next day.
Yep. So that's how I usually, especially when it's new material, the kids kind of know that day we're going to be at the boards a bunch.
Yeah.
And the next day, we'll spend some time at the board still, but we have to sit down and make sure that individually we all understand. So we'll do some sort of an exit ticket and that, but it just wasn't going to show up today.
And they seem to be okay at the boards for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
They were working great. Another piece of the flow puzzle is how you deliver problems in a thin sliced lesson. And this was a thin sliced lesson today, even though the problems were each a little longer, so you didn't have as many. But real quick, let's take a look at the method you used.
That stuff just auto comes up.
So that was just a real short video of showing some kids going to the center of the room. So tell us about how you are delivering those problems, and is that normal for how you do a thin sliced lesson?
Yeah, we have the group 10 desks in the classroom that usually I don't have anyone that sits there. So usually they know that's where the problems are. When they get done with the set, they know to go on and get the next one. I only keep 3 sets of those papers, so there's typically more than one problem on there, and it keeps them moving. Some groups want confirmation that they need to move on, but a lot of the groups kind of know if I'm not saying much to you and you're at the end, you need to keep moving on.
Yeah, and I'm going to add in a question here about moving on. How do you have a system for when the students know if they've got it right or not, or if they're able to move on?
The number one thing I've talked with them about, that I've coached them on, is if I'm walking by you and we're not having a conversation, then you're doing fine. You don't need me to ask you any questions.
Yeah.
And if I'm asking a question, it's going to be an extension and trying to really dig into something extra. And there's times where they want the confirmation though, and I just have to wave them on. Like,
Yeah.
just
No,
go. You are
no
fine.
news is good
Yeah,
news.
Yeah.
No news is good news. I like that. And it makes it easy for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So lastly, I thought it was interesting how you combined their group work at the boards with whole group instruction when needed. Let's see what that looks like, and then we'll wrap things up for today.
Okay. I want to come over here. Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Listen, I put the first one first for a reason. Come here. Hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I haven't seen anyone have number one correct yet. Okay? Now, when you're drawing your sketch, it doesn't need to be perfect, but it should be a little bit more accurate. So like, just look real quickly at group 5s. Is that where it... Okay, now let's answer some of our questions here. Rough sketch, okay, so like when we're doing a rough sketch, I wouldn't worry about putting numbers to it because we're gonna get the numbers. When you click the line, remember the gray dots show up. Those are the important features. All right, listen, everyone that's doing the table right now, good, you guys are getting it. Okay, I wanna show you a little tip, okay, and this uses Desmos graphing. So we can combine the ideas of systems of equations in this if we're going to utilize Desmos graphics. I don't have your equation up, but I have an equation. Okay, but this isn't yours. Now, if I want to know...
I loved at the end of that, the student that was sneaking in to get the next question when you were working with the whole class. Yeah. And I think you had already told that group that they could move ahead, but then you started in with the whole class. And so I know he didn't want to interrupt or anything, but I thought that was great. Their group was allowed to move on though.
Yes.
While you were talking with the rest of the class about something, it was the whole lesson you were kind of stopping along the way and chunking the lesson and kind of consolidating along the way, rather than waiting until the end. Is that a routine that you like to use?
That's my favorite way to consolidate, just because my nature, if I wait to the end, I don't have any time. And I don't feel like I just don't have enough time. So I try to naturally have a spot where I feel like I'm gonna need to go ahead, I'm gonna put a problem and I'm gonna need to go ahead and do some direct instruction. That's kind of where I want to see what they can figure out. The group that got to move on had figured out what they needed to figure out. They didn't need me to stop them. So the rest of the groups, we want to make sure, let's stop, let's slow down for a second, and let's come together and make sure that we all understand what these questions are asking. We all understand how to proceed with them.
Yeah, it works for you.
As good as it can.
Yeah, good, good. This last question I've begun asking teachers that I work with: what advice do you have for a teacher watching this video that hasn't started building their thinking classroom yet?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a great question.
I guess what I hear in our building from math teachers that are reluctant is, when am I going to teach them, or when are they going to do it on their own? So I'll tackle the when are they going to do it on their own. And I think that's kind of a misconception right now, is building thinking classrooms is you're always on a vertical surface. Yeah. And while that's a great tool and a special tool that's involved with it, you do have to sit down and consolidate and do exit tickets and do some individualized practice. So that part doesn't go away, but you get the joy of seeing kids like do great things and put connections together that you never thought that they could have. That's been what's rejuvenated me as a teacher, is like seeing a kid put two things together that I never would have put together, or doing a problem in a way I never would have thought to do it. And I never got to see that up until I started doing PTC. I showed them, and they had an algorithm, and they mastered that algorithm, and they moved on. And now I get to see kids actually think.
That's a great testimony. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. And thank you for sharing your classroom with us. It was a wonderful day for me.
I appreciate having you.
This is going to help a lot of teachers move forward with their thinking classroom journey. Watch this video and find others in the series at kinl.cc/exemplar videos. That's kinl.cc/exemplar videos. Or search Keep Indiana Learning and subscribe to our